Welcome back to Pop Culture Roundup, a podcast where we round up the latest news and talk all things pop culture. I'm your host, Jonah Park, and today, to start off the show, we have yet again just another fantastic guest with us today. And that guest is none other than the Pop Culture Robot 2000, PCR 2000. How are you doing, man? This is the first time we've ever had you on the show, which is kind of weird because the acronym of your name is exactly the same as our acronym for our podcast here. So how are you doing today?
Greetings, Jonah Park. I am doing well. As you humans say, I am ready to supply the world with my daily algorithm in order that the world may better itself by betterment infinitesimally, quadrilaterally, incandescently.
I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. I don't think that sentence has ever been stated in the history of mankind, but it's great to have you here. So you are, let me just get this straight. You are the robot that knows every single pop culture reference, quote, actor, cast, whatever it has to do, if it has to pertain to pop culture, you're the one that knows about it, right?
That is correct, Jonah. I know every single pop culture fact since the dawn of humanity.
That's crazy. I mean, I know you've been around ever since, to my knowledge, like the 60s. It's pretty incredible that you're able to still be able to function at such a high rate. I mean, it's like you're the Terminator or something.
I do not compute.
Oh, yeah, no, like the Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the movie back then where he was a robot or something. You remember? I mean, you're a pop culture robot. You know that, right?
Running background research on subject titled The Terminator. No results found.
Oh, yeah, I mean, no, that's fine. I just didn't know if you knew. I thought you would know that since you're the pop culture robot. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, it's cool. You've been around since, like, I don't know, like the Alfred Hitchcock movie days, you know what I mean?
Yes. Alfred Hamchog.
No, I mean, Alfred Hitchcock, the, like, famous director who directed all. Are you okay? Do you know, you don't know these characters?
Of course, Jonah Park. I am PCR 2000. I am the database of all pop culture.
No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, maybe. Well, okay, let's just change the subject. That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, man, actually, I have a question for you. So I was trying to watch a movie the other day, and I watched it, and I really loved it, and I can't remember what the movie was, but I remember it had, like, Ansel Elgort and Lily James. Do you know that movie?
Handsome Elgort.
Yeah, it's like where he's, like, driving a car, or, like, he's a getaway driver or something. Do you remember that movie?
You must be thinking of the movie Barefoot Sandwich.
No, I don't. No, that doesn't sound right to me, no.
That's the only movie with chili plains and handsome Keltort.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, we've got the Marvel universe. Are you familiar with the Marvel universe?
I love ice cream.
No, not ice cream. I'm talking about Marvel. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantumania that's coming out. Are you excited for that movie?
Can?
Yeah, I know, like, with Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. You're not familiar?
Unfamiliar.
Oh, okay. But you've seen Ant-Man before, right?
I love cans.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to continue to do maybe some repairs on PCR 2000, but guys, we've got a great episode for you today. I mean, we've actually got a special guest with us with J-Mac today, so that's going to be really fun, and we've got another really fun discussion topic for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode of the Pop Culture Roundup.
Welcome to Pop Culture News.
Hi.
Yo, 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 yo.
What's good?
Just me having to use the bathroom, and I feel it again.
The urge to poo has arisen
Hit
again.
me. Yeah,
It's
it,
hit you.
for the second time within 5 minutes.
Oh.
Surprising, right?
It's like contractions for like a pregnancy. You know what I mean?
But also, I don't know if it's like I have to go to the bathroom. Have you ever like had to hold your farts in because you're with people?
Yeah.
And you don't. I know. I can feel which ones smell. I know which one of my farts smell.
Yeah.
And they were stinky ones. I had Panda and Cafe Rio today. They would it would have been really, really bad. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a lot of fart, like gas just bottled up in me, because I also can't stop farting now.
Right.
So,
but you don't want to gamble and lose. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I'm already comfy enough to where like,
yeah,
if I gamble and I lose, then just nobody will know about it because I won't say anything. You'll know, by my facial expression.
And I will make
and then we're just gonna stop the recording.
Okay.
And I'm gonna clean myself up.
Okay.
So that's what's gonna happen. If anything does happen.
Yeah, we'll mention that at some point though. That's not.
No,
that's not.
No, it's okay. Okay. I just won't do it.
Okay.
Cool. Glad we got that out of the way.
So we've got a lot of quote unquote news.
Cool.
For DC, but we don't exactly know if any of it's true or not. So there's been a lot of rumors of what's going to happen with this new DC universe, and I just like to get into that right now. So one, I think that has basically been confirmed is a Batman movie was canceled where Michael Keaton was the main Batman, and the movie was going to be the Batman Beyond universe, where it's in the future and somebody else takes over the Batman role. I think it's Terry McGinnis or something like that is the name of the guy. I don't know. But that upsets me a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Because like fans have been wanting Michael Keaton to come back as an older Batman and for them to do a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton.
Right.
And they were going to do it, and now I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Yeah.
We're good.
I don't think so. Yeah. That's a nice thought. Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, like, there are so many Batmans already.
That's fair.
Like, I understand, like, it would have been a really cool idea, but if you're gonna do another Batman, save it for the future. Like, but then at the same time, Michael Keaton's kind of old.
He's getting up there.
Yeah.
So
I understand the dilemma for both sides.
Yeah. And like, I think it makes sense too, because you're right. I mean, like, it's not even that there's been a lot of Batmans, it's that there currently are a lot of Batmans.
Right. Like, we just had Ben Affleck in Justice League, and then right after that we had Robert. Like, and that's a big character to kind of like keep recasting. So the fact that you already have two within the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. That's like if you were to keep recasting like Iron Man or Captain America or Wolverine, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like they even waited enough time for like Spider-Man reboots. Like they waited quite a bit of time. So the fact that there's been two Batmans already in the last 2 years, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's upsetting, but at the same time, like, I understand. And along with that, there's been a lot of different DC news in terms of, let me see if I can see. So Wonder Woman 3 has officially been canceled. Because apparently in the script they were gonna revive like Steve Trevor yet again and like have him come back. And apparently it was like a direct sequel to Wonder Woman 84. So I think it would have been set in like the 80s or 90s or something like that. Aquaman 2
is the last one.
Is the last time.
Because everybody wants him to be Lobo.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I'm not upset with that. I'm not upset.
How dare you quit Aquaman to go chase some fantasies?
Yeah. It's going to be
hurt my feelings.
No. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that because I don't exactly know what that looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's already a pretty prominent character in the DC universe, so for him to swap over.
Yeah, and he's one of the fan favorites, like because his movie was good.
Right, it was one of the successes of the DC universe.
And Jason did such a good job playing Aquaman. That's the thing. Like, if you would have sucked, I wouldn't really care as much.
Right,
you're good. You look like it. Like you're a solid portrayal of Aquaman. That's why it hurts my feelings.
Yeah. So.
Losers.
Yeah.
This is why I hate DC.
I know. And there's no plans for a Black Adam 2, which, to be honest, I'm not upset about that at all. Like,
I kind of am. I like that movie a lot.
It was cool, but I mean, if you want to bring back the character of Black Adam in like a Shazam movie, that's great.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now if they do another Black Adam movie now, that's like later, I guarantee it's not going to be The Rock anymore. They're probably going to cast.
I don't know about that. I think he is that role.
I hope so.
Yeah. And then in terms of Man of Steel and kind of that character, it's really up in the air right now. But earlier this week, it was like Man of Steel 2 is not happening right now, which sucked because he quit as The Witcher.
Right.
And to fully pursue being Superman. And now it's like up in the air. But later on in the week, James Gunn tweeted out the fact that like Superman is a top priority for him. So it's looking more like Henry Cavill is going to come back. They just don't know how yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really know. And I think
feel
that's
bad for him.
Yeah, I do too. Which
that sucks.
I mean, that's saying something if someone who hates Superman feels bad for the actor playing Superman. That's a big deal.
Yeah, because how you did the dude so dirty. Like how are you going to say, there's going to be a Man of Steel 2, you're in the end credit scene of Black Adam. Now there's not going to be a Black Adam 2.
Exactly.
And he quit The Witcher, and I heard that was pretty solid, and I guarantee you he was making good money off that.
Yeah,
definitely. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So for him to quit that, they kind of just ruined him now. So I feel bad for him. Still hate Superman, but I feel bad for Henry.
Yeah,
I can feel bad for Henry.
Yeah. I really hope they keep him because
they gotta. What they need, if they want to keep him, they gotta. Let's calm down. They need to. They need to hurry up and actually devise a plan, or else he's gonna be like, "No, I'm done with this. Y'all are throwing y'all don't know what you're doing." So they need to hurry up and devise a plan and give him the plan in order for him to stay, or else he's not gonna stick around. They're gonna have to recast Superman again.
So and Henry Cavill is such a fan favorite. I don't understand
Superman.
Right, and I don't understand. I don't understand why you wouldn't lock him down for that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me how. I don't know. I don't understand why they haven't come out and just said yes, he is Superman. He is going to stay Superman. So
DC's got to do a lot of rebuilding, rebranding, all of it. Because everything that's in the works right now is all going to crap. There isn't a DC universe anymore. At this point, everything's been canceled.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going on is Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally it. Oh, and the Flash movie, unless they canceled that recently too. So but even then, that movie isn't doing anything for the DC universe. Yeah. It's a one and done.
Yeah. So
that's so dumb.
What I've been hearing about this Flash movie is it's like fantastic. Like I don't know how, I don't know why, but like people are saying it's better than The Dark Knight, and they're like Deadline, which is a solid news outlet for like pop culture things, is saying The Flash is Spider-Man No Way Home good. So
yes, but you can say that all you want, but it's not going anywhere.
Right.
After that movie, it's done. Yeah. Like there's still no DC universe. But go have Lobo, right? Like, freaking idiots, man.
I think the best course of action is because this Flash movie is taking after kind of the Flashpoint storyline for the Flash. Do you know what that is? You know what the Flashpoint is, right?
Very vague, but why would you do it after the Flashpoint? Why wouldn't you do a before Flashpoint, make a Flashpoint movie, and then do an after Flashpoint movie?
Right.
Like, what are you thinking?
But I think
I've heard a lot of people want a Flashpoint storyline.
Yeah.
Because I know it's like a whole bunch of future stuff. I heard old rumors that they were going to do that, and Michael Keaton was going to be in that and be an older Batman. Like, that's what I originally heard.
Yeah.
Do that!
That is what they're doing. He is supposed to be like a supporting character in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm just saying, I think what this movie needs to do is officially reset the DC EU. Like, I think it needs to act as, because the plot of the movie is Barry Allen goes back in time to save his mom from being killed.
Right.
Does so, and then it creates this paradox, and then he realizes, oh, I messed up, I need to go, whatever. And then he goes back in time, stops himself from saving his mom, and then from that point on, the universe is just a little bit different. It's still like got the primary aspects, but it's different. I think it just needs to do that so that it can give James Gunn like a clean slate.
I guess that's literally the only way you can do it without. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't think anybody really cares. Everyone knows that they're all over the place right now. And so, like, I don't think fans would even be mad if they were just kind of up and went like, okay, we're starting over. Like, I don't think anybody would really be upset. They'd just be like, oh, yay.
Yeah. It's just so difficult. Like,
how did you mess up so bad?
You could, and with such great characters, with like
original OG fan favorite characters.
Yes.
How do you mess up so badly?
Yeah.
How do you look at Marvel and be like, we can do that too, and then never do it,
and then fail every single time?
Zack Snyder was the closest one to do so, and then they were like, 100%. You're fired.
Yeah. Like,
do you not want success?
Yeah.
What is your problem?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just don't think they know how to put money into like the right actors, the right direct. Like,
yeah.
I don't think they know how to use their money wisely.
Yeah. It's not even because, like, I don't even think the actors are the issue, because I think
there are some good ones.
Yeah. I think their casting has been solid.
More so the problem that they keep recasting. Like, they don't know who to choose. Like, there's been 3 actors that have now stayed consistent. 2.5 kind of.
Yeah.
The kind of half one is Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Jason Momoa. Those are the only 3 that have stayed consistent. Right. Because you had one really good movie with Wonder Woman, and then you did really bad with 84. You did really good with the entirety of Aquaman's character and Jason Momoa. And you, like, I'm not a Superman fan and I don't like the character, but like, even then I will give credit when credit's due on the aspect of you did good with his character.
Yeah.
Besides in Batman versus Superman, that movie sucked. But
okay.
I thought the writing was so stupid for that movie.
Yeah.
I thought that movie sucked. Anyway, not the point I'm trying to make. Like, how are you going to, like, because I didn't think Ben Affleck. I don't think he was terrible. I just think Robert did a better job.
I would agree with that.
And now that's not happening.
Right.
So like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then like you get everybody's hopes up with Michael Keaton, and now you're not going to do that. So like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the DC universe.
Yeah. I think the thing to settle on is the fact that like we're going to be hearing a lot of rumors of what is going to happen in the DC universe. Right. And we need to like calm down because James Gunn has not officially come out and said anything other than like his response to all of these different rumors were some of the rumors are true. Some of them are some half true and the others are just completely not true. So we need to like take everything with a grain of salt.
Right. Wait
till they reveal an actual plan and just trust in the fact that like they're giving some real thought to this. Like James Gunn has never, in my opinion, ever like not committed fully to something. So yes, it's frustrating when you're hearing a bunch of rumors and you're like, well, that's not how I wanted it to go. And the fact that like they're going to make some calls that we're not going to like.
Yeah.
Because whatever, but they know the characters and we just got to trust them that they're going to do the right thing.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, that's at this point, because I already know that DC's in the garbage right now.
Yeah.
I trust James Gunn.
Right.
He's very, very good at what he does.
Right.
I trust him to turn most of it around.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say all of it because a lot of it is really, really bad. Like,
yeah.
But most of it, 100%, he can fix most of it. So really, like, kind of like what you were saying, we really just got to trust in James. I'm only going to listen to like what comes out of his mouth. If it doesn't come out of his mouth, it's still rumor and there's possibility for it not happening. So until it comes out of James Gunn's mouth, it's false to me. So that's where I'm at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess the only other thing that I have for this week is a lot of different like video game news.
Yeah, because the video game awards were on Thursday.
Yes.
And so they had a lot of new trailers and release dates, I believe.
Yeah.
A whole lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Did you see the kid that like apparently made it on stage during one of the company's acceptance speeches and thanked his great rabbi, Bill Clinton? Like I don't know how, I have no idea, but he was like some sort of like, I guess he was probably like 16 or whatever. He made it on stage while they were giving their acceptance speech. They're about to walk off and everybody's like waving and whatever. And he walks up and he's like, I'd just like to thank my great rabbi, like Bill Clinton. And then, you know, like the camera cuts away or whatever. And everybody was just kind of like the whole audience was like, yeah, like what the heck? So that happened, but moving on. Yeah. It was like a joke. It was like, I don't know how he made it on there, but we got our first official look. Mm-hmm. Our first official look at Jedi Survivor. Did you play the first game?
What is the first game called?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I think I have it.
Okay.
But I haven't finished it only for the fact that I have no idea where I'm going right now. I'm at this part, and like, it's been a while since I played, and so I have no idea where to go now.
Yeah.
And so I'm lost, so I can't play it anymore. But I think that's the game I have, yeah.
Yeah. And aside from the fact of you being lost, do you enjoy playing it?
No, yeah, it's a really cool game. Like,
yeah.
I'm not a Star Wars fan like that. Like, Star Wars is cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm not into the whole lore thing. Like, I'm not even really into the games like that, except for Lego Star Wars. Like, Battlefront, those were cool. They were all right. That's not my kind of game.
Right.
Star Wars, the first 6 movies is my childhood.
Right.
The last 3 movies I don't really care for. I don't really like them. That's more my opinion. But for me not being that big of a Star Wars fan, this was a really, really fun game. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game. It pissed me off because of certain like monsters and everything. I was getting real mad. But other than like, sometimes the games you got to do that. Like sometimes you got to go through that for a game. So, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I hear that game is the sequel.
Yes.
Of this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I've played through the Fallen Order. It was really fun. I agree. Like sometimes the world is too open world to where you can't really find your next objective.
Right.
It's frustrating. And like, yes, it's got that like Dark Souls vibe where enemies will pop out at you at random. But I think it's fun, and I think people have enjoyed it. So it'll be intriguing to see and to play through. They also did a little like teaser trailer for the new Suicide Squad video game, where they kind of gave a little tribute to Kevin Conroy, who passed away. This video game is his last time playing the character of Batman. So, it's really sad. It's really sad because Kevin Conroy is Batman. Like he is the voice of Batman. So to see like him pass away, especially at such a, I mean, I think he was like 65. So he wasn't like super young, but it was definitely like,
like still shocking. Like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I believe the last thing that I have saved here is they announced Death Stranding 2. I don't know. Have you played the first one?
Never even heard of it.
Okay. It's a game that has a lot of controversy behind it because people either really love it or really hate it. And there's really been no in between on that. So it's interesting. I haven't even played the first game, and I don't think that I will, because it's like, it's basically you just being like a package delivery guy in the future. Basically, there's more like plot to it. There's more like whatever, but it's a lot of like carrying heavy things across like terrain, and that terrain doesn't like register your like footsteps or your like movement well because of how they programmed it. And there's not a whole lot of like explanation into like what the world is that you're in. So it's just a weird game, but they announced the sequel to it. So I'm intrigued to see how people think. Maybe they've learned from their mistakes on this previous game and kind of fine-tuned it better, but I don't know.
Yeah, go mail deliverer.
Yeah. Go.
Congrats.
Go do your thing.
Second game.
Yeah.
You go get that mail.
Go deliver that package.
Good.
Can you imagine?
Man.
Ah, man. Just
what the heck?
Yeah. And you carry, I forgot to mention the best part. You carry around a baby who isn't like fully like formed yet. So you carry him in like a little like egg sac cocoon thing with like liquid and like a little like mechanical umbilical cord attached to his belly.
Why'd this game get a sequel?
Because people love it and people hate it. It's
How
like
did this game even get off the launch?
I know. So
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, people like weird things.
Yeah.
You go have fun with your mail deliverer, baby caregiver.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And I forgot to mention too, the very, very last thing is that there was a new clip from the Super Mario movie, where they kind of explore, I think it was Mushroom Kingdom, kind of
like after the second trailer.
Yeah. There's like a clip.
It's a new one.
Yeah, it's not a trailer. It's like an actual like clip from the movie.
Oh,
and I'm thoroughly impressed with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can tell you that just from the trailers alone.
Yeah.
Everything to a fine point is like very, very beautifully done.
Yeah.
They really got it right with this one.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this too, like video game movies or like the movie adaptations of video games have almost never been good. Almost.
They're always trash. I'll
Always
tell you
trash.
the ones that there were. The Sonic movies were solid, and I think that's what really kickstarted it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to throw in, like it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin's Creed was okay.
It was decent. Yeah.
It was like there.
Yeah.
And Mortal Kombat. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's for a different time. Mortal Kombat with a T.
Yeah.
Fault. That movie, it was better than Assassin's Creed, but it was alright.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was decent.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say the full word because it's not that good. But yeah, it really started kicking off with Sonic. And I think from here on out, if they stay with the same kind of formula, same kind of format, different plot, of course, to actually make the movie good. But nonetheless, like if you keep the same kind of thing going on, you're bound to succeed.
Yeah.
Like so, and the trailers made Mario look so good.
Yeah.
And people need to stop hating on Chris Pratt. I'm over the Chris Pratt slander.
Yeah.
He's good. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I think this has the workings of being one of the best video game, like the best video game adaptation.
It will be.
Yeah.
If it does good, it will become the greatest video game movie of all time. Yeah. Guaranteed. But it'll blow out Sonic. Out.
Yeah.
Both. Probably combined.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Because it's Mario.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Mario?
Yeah. And I think
besides James. James likes Luigi. He doesn't like Mario.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he's weird. Yeah. Nobody understands.
To be fair, let's just say this. Luigi gets no love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's because he's a word let's see. PG. He's a scaredy cat. He's a little baby.
Yeah.
He's lame.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't get love.
Yeah.
He sucks.
I know, but like you gotta have.
That's cool is he's a little bit taller and he's green.
He hunts down ghosts.
No, he doesn't. He runs away from them.
But then he hunts them down.
I think that's an accident.
Maybe.
I don't think he actually it's like Scooby-Doo. He's like Shaggy. He's not trying to find the ghost.
Right.
He's not trying to find it just so happens that the monster finds him and somehow he contributes in a way.
Right.
Yeah. Except Shaggy's better.
Oh. Hot take.
Well, think about it, because Shaggy has a dog.
Yeah.
That already ups his likability.
I guess.
He's kind of a goofball. Luigi's just a scaredy cat. Shaggy's a scaredy cat, but
it's different.
Yeah. I can't explain it, but Shaggy's just better than Luigi.
Yeah.
In the animated world. Well, I guess it's different animation. Anyways, that's my hot take, I guess.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if this movie does well, it'll kind of clear the bad taste in our mouths from the first Mario movie, the live action one, which I think it's such a terrible movie that it's not good, but comical. Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
Because it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because of that.
Yeah.
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 Also, this is just a real quick side note.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say this in when we was talking about the 10 phase or 10 movie thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know who I think should direct Green Lantern?
Who?
Ryan Reynolds.
No.
For this purpose alone. He knows how bad the first one is. I think he could do a pretty solid job directing a good film.
I think here's the thing.
I think he'd do really, really good. I think he'd surprise some people. At least a co-director. I'm telling you.
I think, but here's the thing. I think he hates that movie so much that he would just make the movie a parody of itself.
Probably.
Yeah.
Either that or he would be like, nah, I can't. That's how bad it is. Like, I can't. Like, this has to be good.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it just as like a thought, I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, man, like, he knows how terrible the first one was. He knows. He lived it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't allow another one to go that bad.
It would be really funny.
Yeah.
I would. Okay, first of all, let's bring this up for a second. You know, a while ago, before the first Green Lantern movie, there was an idea to make Jack Black a Green Lantern, and that was going to be a movie.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
That would have been horrific.
Yeah.
Because Jack Black is not a superhero.
No. Hang on.
No.
Poe from Kung Fu Panda, though.
I mean a Marvel or DC hero. He is not a superhero.
I feel like if there was a zany enough character, I think he could play it. But it'd have to be a zany character.
And it would have to be an animation. He's not a superhero. I look at Jack Black and see music rock star. That because of what is it called? House of Rock? School of Rock? I think it's School of Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I know Jack Black. And like an animated voice unless you gave him like a really wacky character like you did John Cena for Peacemaker, like that fits him pretty perfectly in my opinion. And I don't see John Cena as a superhero either. Or I guess he's a villain or anti-hero.
Yeah. But I could see Jack Black being a member of the Suicide Squad. I don't know who, but I'm just saying I could see him as one of the members of the Suicide Squad.
I could see him being a Joe character for Suicide Squad, like Weasel. Or I thought Captain Boomerang was kind of lame too.
I think
he's a joke character in my opinion.
They
did him so dirty.
They did him so dirty.
So dirty. Because Captain Boomerang's actually cold. He's so cool. But they did him so dirty.
Yeah. I want to see.
He should have been Polka Dot Man.
Who?
Jack Black.
Jack Black? That would have been Polka Dot. That would have been kind of funny.
I love the actor that did it. Yeah. But that would have been so funny to see.
It would have been a different approach to the character 100%.
He wouldn't have been shy and anxious.
Yeah.
He would have been bold and obnoxious.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been really funny.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. Or even like maybe a King Shark character.
He could low-key do Killer Croc. Killer Croc. That's right. Maybe. It's a like 50-50.
Yeah.
But yeah, make him Gorilla Grodd. Please make him Gorilla Grodd.
Oh, that would be funny.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work, but it'd be funny.
It'd be a really bad movie, whatever it was. Yeah. But it'd be funny at least.
Here's my new movie pitch. We do Jack Black as the Flash.
Deal.
Yep.
I'm for it. No, make him Thor.
Yeah.
When Chris Hemsworth fully gets Alzheimer's and forgets everything. That's no disrespect.
Okay.
No disrespect. Those are just facts. I'm saying rewrite the character and make it Jack Black. I love you, Chris. If you ever somehow watch this, you'll forget about it, but I'm sorry. I love you, Chris.
Okay. I'm going to cut us off right now so that we don't say anything more dicey.
No. I love Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
It's very, and I'm sorry for, everything going on.
Yeah.
You're a great human being. I love you. There's no disrespect when I say that.
Yeah.
I was more stating facts. I swear. I'm a big fan. Now, there's my apology. I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah. I do respect the fact that he himself has come out and said, like, if I ever come back to do Thor, it'd have to be a completely different direction. Like, not making
good for him.
Yeah,
good for him.
I think he needs to be that kind of warrior Thor again. It's been fun as the comedy aspect, but Love and Thunder really ruined it.
What I think is he needs a good mix. I've always been thinking like that. Like, I thought after Ragnarok, you bring more intensity, especially because of Endgame.
Yeah.
You had your little bit of comic relief in Infinity War with Fat Thor.
Yep. Well,
And
that was Endgame.
Well, at the was it?
Yep.
All of it, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch all these movies.
I know, dude. Seriously.
So I guess Endgame, but then like you still see that intense Thor come back.
Yeah.
At the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
And then you kind of lost it in Love and Thunder. So I think if you get how you had him in Endgame, it's a perfect mix of comic relief, but not too much to where he's still intense. Like, yeah. Like, think about it. Everything is dead to him. Everybody died.
Yeah. I'd say he has a more tragic backstory than Scarlet Witch.
No.
Okay.
For the reasoning that, hold on.
Okay.
Because I know all the reasonings.
Okay.
For the reasoning that it all started for Wanda at a very early age. All throughout Thor's childhood, he lived royalty.
That's fine.
Wanda lived in poverty and government killing everybody. They didn't know when a bomb was going to go off at like 14 years old. Right. That's where I'm going to say that it differs, and I'm going to give the small leeway to Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Because everything that happened to Thor happened to Scarlet Witch. Everything. Yeah. Her home is gone. All of her family's dead. Yeah. She killed her own husband. Yeah. Then her husband became a duplicate and ran away. Yeah. In fact, she watched her husband die twice. She
like 3
literally
times.
She literally got
maybe
her heart like
4, honestly.
She felt the heartbreak of her brother's death. Yeah. Then saw her brother come back to life, not as her brother. Right. Some random dude. Then she had to create this whole town to somehow stay sane. Right. Fell in love with her children that didn't exist and got the children taken from her. Right. And everybody that she loved on the team is dead. Yeah. Because that was like the only one you could say is still around is Clint. That's the only one that ever took care of her. Yeah. Vision's gone. Iron Man's gone. Cap's gone. Like, those were the main 3 people. Yeah. Or sorry, 4 if you count Vision. Nobody else really cared. Yeah. They were just like, whatever. So they both had it about the same. Yeah. I'm going to give it to Scarlet Witch, though. But, like, they just treated, like, Thor's backstory like a joke when he, like, went through just as much tragedy as Scarlet Witch did. Right. So I'm like, we can acknowledge that. We could, like, take some time. Hot take. Is that because in real world society, men can't talk about their feelings and have to treat it as a joke? Man, this got deep. Man. Whoa. I've just related to Thor on a whole different level. And we said Spider-Man's the most relatable? Hold on. I might have not like had everybody die, but like, hold on. Mental. Whoa. We got to end it here, but we just opened another wormhole for another episode. My whole. Wow. We'll talk about this on a later date. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this news segment. Now into the general discussion topic. I've ruined the end of this podcast. Wow. No, it's all right. Hi. Hello. Hey. So, hey. To see how this goes for me. Yeah. I act very different when I'm with you. I act very different. I don't know how I'm going to be. The audio is going to be a little bit wacky. So like what I probably shouldn't hit record, but what I'll recommend is that you guys like hold the mic up to you. There's no mic. Oh. Nothing. Cool. Here, wait. Could you hear us better for like this? Yeah. That's good. Okay. Hey. Hello. Hey, so this week we're going to be, there's a lot of DCU news going around where like everything's falling apart basically, and like James Gunn is like the Antichrist. So we're gonna basically, we've been thinking about this a long time, but we always are like, man, if I was in control of this cinematic universe, I would change so much. Right. So today we're actually gonna do a 10 movie slate for the DCU, how we would run the DCU, how we want it to go, how it would look like. And we not only have J-Mac, but we also have a special guest, Ryder Vance, with us today. What's up, Ryder? How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, it's been super cool. So I'll probably have. So you guys have made one together, right?
No, he made it.
It was a team effort.
It was team effort
because he approved it.
Okay. I'll probably have you guys, if you're cool with it, I'll probably have you guys go first and like talk through like what the movies are. So, and a few different like criterion that we're trying to hit. I don't know how accurate we're going to be able to make it, but is who we would cast as the main superhero, who's the villain in the movie, and who we would cast as the villain. I mean, if we can think of a director, that's great. And then like kind of just like a baseline, like plot, what would happen in the movie. Right. So yeah, go ahead. What do you guys got?
Sweet. All right. So I wanted to start it off kind of like similar to how Marvel did it, but I mean, obviously like DC in its own right. And I thought the best way to do that was with a Batman origin story. And I feel like we've given up a lot on like the origin stories in superhero movies lately because they've been kind of played out. But I think in order to set up a universe, like you have to have that.
Yeah.
And Batman's like well known enough that it'd be a good hero to do it with. But it's also like, you can't start off the Marvel universe with like Doctor Strange. Like it had to be someone that was like, you know, a reasonable superhero to start it with. So I went with Batman for that. And who I thought would play a perfect Batman is Jensen Ackles. And I don't know if any of you know him. He's Supernatural, plays Dean Winchester. I think he's in The Boys as well. I thought he'd be a perfect Batman. He's a little older, but I think it could work, pull it off with a little bit of an older Batman. And then the villain I thought would be perfect, that's never been done right in a movie, is Mr. Freeze. Because Mr. Freeze is one of the coolest Batman villains in comic books, but he's never been done right in the movie. I love Arnold, but it hasn't worked well so far. so those are the two, and like I said, just kind of an origin story for Batman to start things off.
Yeah,
I second that.
Yeah, so I'll have you just go all the way through it because, like, yeah.
Perfect. So after that, I'm following it up with Green Lantern. And that's another guy that hasn't been done right in movies so far.
Right. Yeah.
Again, Ryan Reynolds, great guy. It didn't work out. I mean, at least he had his wife there. But I've been into a lot of fan theories going on about Green Lantern that I've heard over the years. And I kind of pieced all those together to make this movie. So a while ago, they were talking about doing kind of a Green Lantern Corps movie with it. They essentially described it as like a Lethal Weapon or Top Gun in space, where it's like an older kind of worn down superhero Green Lantern is taking on a young renegade new Green Lantern that kind of doesn't want to play by the rules. And they kind of, team together to work things out. And so that's what I wanted to do. But I wanted the older Green Lantern to be Idris Elba. Even though he's in Marvel, but I thought he'd be a perfect Jon Stewart. I think he could play that role super well. And then again, buying into another fan theory, I put Miles Teller as Hal Jordan, the new Green Lantern. So those were the two heroes I went with for that one. And it's kind of Miles Teller's origin story, becoming Green Lantern. If you want to like write out the script a little more, I think a good heartbreaker would have to be Idris Elba's character, Jon Stewart, passing away at the end of the movie. Miles Teller kind of taking over as the new Green Lantern for Earth. Yeah. And then I mean, obviously if you're going Green Lantern, Sinestro's probably like the bad guy you got to go with. Yeah. And I went with Adam Driver as Sinestro. Okay. I thought that'd be a good guy. He did great with Kylo Ren. I think he plays a good bad guy. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then third, I know he gets a lot of hate, but you got to have Superman in the Justice League. So I went with Superman. A little bit of a different cast. I'm a big Henry Cavill fan, but I went with Jonathan Majors. I don't know if like he's kind of up and coming right now. He's in the new Creed movie. He's in a new pilot movie. I can't remember what the title of that one is, but I think it just barely came out. But he's jacked. He's a good actor. I think he'd play a really good Superman. You're looking him up right now.
He's Kang. It's Kang. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he'd be super good. And then I went with a young Lex Luthor, kind of building off of Jesse Eisenberg's interpretation, but a little bit different. I went with Evan Peters, who played Jeffrey Dahmer in the most recent series. I thought he'd be interesting. He plays a couple of those kind of like creepy characters, like obviously Dahmer, and then he's also an American Horror Story. So those were the two that I went with, but I actually didn't want to do Lex Luthor as the main bad guy for this one.
Okay.
He's kind of in the movie, but I thought Christian Bale as Brainiac would be super interesting because he's never been done in a movie, at least like a mainstream movie that's come out.
Yeah.
He'd be tough, but Christian Bale because he did the God Butcher in the last Thor, right?
Yeah.
And to me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, interesting. Like he could play that character pretty well, I think. And then also kind of another behind the scenes character I'd want to introduce in that movie is John David Washington as Martian Manhunter.
Oh,
he was in Tenet, the main protagonist. So Superman origin story, introduce Martian Manhunter with Brainiac as the main villain. That's what I would do for him. Next up, I went with Wonder Woman. And I cast Jordana Brewster as Wonder Woman.
Okay.
She's Mia on Fast and Furious, Paul Walker's wife.
Okay.
So I thought she'd be really good, but this one I would put not as an origin story because I thought how having her kind of around, like doing her own thing is kind of a good way to bring her into the Justice League without like replaying the origin story that they kind of already did pretty recently with a Wonder Woman movie. And then I also wanted to introduce Flash in this film. And I cast Chase Stokes from Outer Banks.
Okay.
Main guy in Outer Banks. And I cast him. And the villain, I did Hilary Duff as Medusa.
That's dope.
Okay. That'd be dope.
Yeah. A little bit of like mythology in there I thought would be interesting. And then fifth, I went with Batman and Flash, like a combined movie with the both of them. So we've got Chase Stokes and Jensen Ackles together, and the villains they're fighting are Vin Diesel voicing Gorilla Grodd.
Okay.
And Caleb Landry Jones as Joker. He's kind of also like on the QT, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen Get Out. He's the brother in that movie, the blonde, like long dude. He plays a super good creepy guy.
Yes.
And like, that's not a diss to him. Like, he's a super good actor at playing that creepy guy. So I was like, he would be a super good low key candidate to play Joker, I thought.
Yeah.
And then the next film was the Justice League, like finally bringing them all together. So all the heroes we've listed so far. And then the villains I put were Sinestro as the main one, kind of like the brains behind it all, playing the Loki kind of role from the Avengers. And then it's also going to have Joker, Lex Luthor, Bane would be introduced. I thought would be a good guy to introduce there. But like the big oversized CGI Bane that we've been missing for a long time. And I thought Danny Trejo would be a great voice for him.
Okay.
And then Mr. Freeze is in it. Black Adam. Black Adam's actually the only character in my list that I would say like I would keep the same actor, and it's just because I love Dwayne Johnson. It's it's just because I'm a big Dwayne guy. But if it wasn't going to be Dwayne Johnson, I would say maybe Kit Harington, who's on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And then I was super hyped about this last cast. I said Poison Ivy, played by Rihanna.
Okay.
That would be super cool.
That'd be so sick.
She'd pull off the red hair really well. I think she has the look for it, like the mannerisms to play that character. So, and then finally, number 7, the movie I personally would be most hyped to see. Finally, a Martian Manhunter solo film against Darkseid, kind of setting things up for the future there. I thought that'd be super interesting, kind of going like leaving Earth kind of thing, going out to combat that. Yeah. And then number 8, Superman 2. With Jason Statham as General Zod, building on that story of Superman. And then 9th, kind of like, I feel like in a lot of superhero movies, especially with the Avengers, it's gotten to the point where so much has happened that every movie has to like top the last movie's craziness. And so it's like, oh, how do we, we just had them save the world. Like, how do we up that? Okay, now only one of the superheroes is going to be able to save the world. Like, they can't work together as a team. Or like, you know what I mean? It just gets so much crazier. So this one, I was like, let's bring it back in a little bit, make it maybe a little bit more manageable, more realistic, kind of in a sense. So Batman 3 with introducing Liam Hemsworth as Green Arrow. And then Deadshot is the main bad guy.
Okay.
Kind of terrorizing Gotham City or however you want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I would cast that character as with Glenn Powell, who plays he's Hangman in the new Top Gun, and he co-stars with Jonathan Majors in that new
Yes. Okay.
movie.
Yep.
So I thought he'd be a good candidate. He's kind of got like the military acting background, I guess, to pull off a character like that.
Yeah.
And then also introducing Catwoman, kind of like as a side character there. And I said Camila Mendes would play a great Catwoman. Yeah. She's from Riverdale. I think she has the look for it. She could pull it off pretty well. And then my 10th movie is kind of like the culmination, the craziness all coming together. Justice League 2 with Parallax and Doomsday as the villains together. Kind of just making it like an all-out, chaotic kind of deal, like just impossible odds kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then new heroes I'd want to introduce. This one's super personal. Like, they're not the most popular heroes, but like I would be hyped to see them in a movie. Yeah. They were my favorites in the Justice League Unlimited series. And it was Hawk and Dove. I think they're super cool characters. And the one that I was for sure about casting was Alan Ritchson as Hawk. He plays the new Jack Reacher. He's in Blue Mountain State. Yeah. So I think he could pull off kind of a little bit of a comedic action role very well. I think he could do that. And then I didn't really have a great candidate for Dove, but I thought maybe Bill Pullman, who's also in the new Top Gun. But I don't know. There's a little bit of a casting opening there, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll hold tryouts when we get to that point.
Yeah. See what I mean? He just had it all mapped out.
Yeah. You're like, watch this. I already got it, and it's right here.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, if I would have actually done my own list, it would have been trash. It would have been Batman 1 versus Joker, Batman 2 also versus Joker. Yeah, no, it just wouldn't have been good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that's a solid list right there. That's like a solid like it's building off of each movie very well, and you got a good sense of like it being those big type movies, and then also like reeling it back to kind of like the more grounded stories too. So that's super solid. I really I love that list, and I love the casting.
I sold 2 tickets to my series. Let's go.
I think one of my favorite ones you put was Vin Diesel as Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah,
and the idea of a Batman and Flash movie sounds dope.
Yeah. I know you were pulling some deep cuts with those casting calls. I was like, you said Jonathan David Majors. I was like, I'm sorry, no, John David Washington.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, no, of course, yeah. In Tenet, yeah, no, of course, that's the guy.
That's son.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run through my list. So to be honest, I'll say 2 things. Some of these DCEU movies, I don't feel like were bad movies. There's slight alterations I would change to them. So I'm going to be pulling some movies that have already been released, but just kind of like if we were starting from the very beginning and none of these movies came out, I'd do like slight tweaks to them. And also to the animated movies that they came out with for the DC universe, I feel like I've had the most fun watching DC stuff when it's been those animated movies that they've put out. So I'm going to be pulling a lot from like that as well. So the first movie I would do is Superman, just to like, it's a classic character. You got to kind of like start out with it. Jaden hates it already.
Yeah, and real quick, if I were to start, I would have Superman die in the very first movie.
Yeah.
Like that's just my personal opinion. That's how I'd start off the DC universe.
Right. You'd basically pull a DC where you'd introduce him, and in the second movie he was in, you would immediately kill him off so that he never
in the first 5 minutes he would be dead.
Right.
And it wouldn't give an explanation either.
Right.
Just dead.
It's like, oh, Superman died, but it happened off screen. He doesn't even deserve.
And then everybody's gonna be like, oh, is it because of his contract? Like, did he do something terrible? No.
The only thing you're gonna know is like a background actor is gonna have a newspaper that says like Superman's dead.
Right. And the camera's like quickly going past him. Like you have to like really stop.
Don't show his name in my movie.
And I love the Henry Cavill cast. I think I'm gonna stick with it. But there's, I found this one cast, like fan cast of Jonathan Groff, which doesn't sound familiar, but I'll send you a picture right now.
Thank you.
This is not going to be the best what he's known for, but he played the king in Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but he looks and sounds like the part of Superman. I'm not going to cast him, but I was like this close to like having him be the new Superman because he looks and sounds the part. Who I'd have directing the main villain for this movie would be Zod, and who I'd cast as Zod is Richard Armitage. He played one of the dwarves in The Hobbit, and he just carries such a like cool intensity to him that
This looks like Sabretooth.
Oh, I could see that too. Yeah, he'd play a mean Sabretooth. But he carries just such a cool intensity about him that I feel like he could pull off the Zod character really well. Who I'd have to direct it would be, I want to bring some lightness to the character because like Superman's kind of been a dark character ever since Man of Steel. So I'd want like Steven Spielberg attached to like mainly direct it, but I want Zack Snyder to kind of like cut a little bit of that like light tone and still bring a little bit of darkness into that character. And the plot would basically be the same. Like I love the whole like fight for his humanity and like fight for Krypton to like come back and like the ethical debate that really drew up. And ultimately like Superman killing Zod, I think was like a super impactful scene. I would want all of that in there.
Yeah. I fell asleep during that movie.
General Zod was Killmonger, but earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The one thing I'd change too is like in the movie, Zod and like his crew of like Kryptonian people exit the Phantom Zone because of something that Superman did. But I'd really want them to exit the Phantom Zone in an like they don't even know how they got out of the Phantom Zone. Like it's like setting up like a mystery for like how they got out of there. And then the end credit scene for that movie, I want Lex to like walk up to Zod's dead body, and I want Lex Luthor to be played by Giancarlo Esposito. He played in Mandalorian and he was also in Breaking Bad. He's like he's such an intelligent dude, like, and he carries such a weird, like unearthly like intensity to him that like it's like you know he's smarter than you, but you don't exactly know how he's going to use that against you. You know what I mean? And so he like walks up to Zod's dead body. He gives some sort of like speech about like gods and like how their role in like the universe or whatever. And then like he like orders somebody to like zip up Zod's dead body and like take it away, kind of setting up that he can return as Doomsday in a later movie. And that's how the movie ends. And then the next movie I want to do is The Flash. And who I want to play the Flash is Stephen, I think it's Ewan. He was in The Walking Dead, and I just think he could carry like a different vibe to the Flash than the TV show. And the villain I'd want for that is Reverse Flash, and who I'd want him to be played by is Anthony Starr, who did Homelander and The Boys. Like he's got such a like insane, like he seems crazy when he acts, but he's also like super powerful. And I feel like that's a good Reverse Flash. Like Reverse Flash is just like, he's insane. He's crazy. And then who I'd want to direct that would be Edgar Wright. And I think it's Andreas Muschietti, who is actually... Andreas is the guy who's directing this Flash movie. And from what we've seen from it so far, it looks like it's got some really good like vibes to it. I like the direction he's kind of taking the Flash character. And Edgar Wright directed like Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I feel like those two combined could do something really, really cool. In this movie, you'd introduce Cyborg as like, but it'd be like Victor Stone before he becomes Cyborg. And then Barry and Cyborg's dad, because they both work at Star Labs, they'd like bond really well. But you'd see like how Silas is kind of like an absent father, but really committed to his work in this movie. and ultimately, like, the movie would end with like a giant explosion at Star Labs that like not kills, but like you think kills Victor or Cyborg. And then the end credit scene for that movie would be like Silas is like walking around like the ruins of like Star Labs and still like doing work. And like you kind of just see him for a second and he's like, I know I failed you, son. And he's like, I know it wasn't there. And then like it cuts over to like this metallic, weird, like alien looking like cocoon. And he's like, I'm going to make this right. And then the movie ends. So it's like, you can kind of see it's like, and it's like a really weird and like eerie scene that like sets up Cyborg as a future character. For Wonder Woman, I basically want to keep the same plot, just changing slight things. So set in the like 1940s, the main villains are going to be like the Nazis and Ares. But for Ares, I want it to be played by Gerard Butler, who was like the guy in like 300. He's like this super like massive dude. Same director, same everything. The only thing I would change is the crew that's around Wonder Woman, of like those like military guys or whatever. I want them to actually be the Justice Society, which is like the old version of like the Justice League, and have like I think it's Jay Garrick, like the original Flash and like the original Green Lantern. And like there's this one superhero called Wildcat who's like just a boxer, but he's like really, really skilled at what he does. And Steve Trevor would be a part of it too, but like just kind of like adding some of that into there. And when it's time for the final showdown between like Wonder Woman and Ares, like the Justice Society thinks they can handle it, so they all go up against them, but they all get knocked down to where it's then only just Wonder Woman and Ares fighting. And then obviously Wonder Woman, you know, saves the day or whatever. Yeah. The little like, yeah, the bracelet thing or whatever. And and then the next movie I want to do is a Batman movie. Who I'd cast as Batman is I so badly wanted Tom Cruise as the Batman. I think he would do so well. Because, like, think about Mission Impossible. Like, think about that movie. Think about the character he plays, where he's like, he is that charming guy, but then he's also like really like he's a spy, super secret detective, and like all of that. But he's really old and he's really short. And I'm like, if he wasn't those two things, if it was even if it was just a younger Tom Cruise, I would overlook the whole height thing, whatever.
You're tall to be the Batman.
Well, not 5'7". He's 5'7". He's
huge, dude.
Yeah.
He like dwarfs people.
Yeah. He does.
So who I got instead is Anson Mount. He played Black Bolt in the Doctor Strange movie. He actually voiced Batman in one of the animated movies, and he's got like that same kind of Kevin Conroy voice. He's got that like build, and he looks like he has. I know, yeah. Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy, but
oh, I actually heard about that. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, and the main villain would be Deathstroke. It'd be played by the same guy who played Deathstroke in the DC movies in the past. And because there's this really, really cool scene where that they actually mapped out for the canceled Ben Affleck Bat movie. And they choreographed this whole scene, and it was insane to see like Batman versus Deathstroke go up against each other. And so I'd really love to see like a movie like that. And the whole plot of the movie is Lex Luthor goes to Gotham and like turns on like the bat signal to like get Batman's attention to like commission him to go kill Superman. And Batman refuses because like he's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it of my own accord, not because someone hired me to. And plus like Superman hasn't done anything, whatever. And so Lex Luthor hires Deathstroke to go like hunt down Batman. And a big theme in the movie is like that it takes place after Jason Todd's death. And the whole plot of the movie is that like Batman is so independent. Like he'll ask for like, because like Nightwing exists already, so it's Nightwing. Jason Todd passed away, and now the new Robin is Tim Drake, and he'd be played by Ryan Potter. He plays Beast Boy in the Titan show. And so like Tim Drake is like, why do you think Nightwing left? Because Nightwing left to go to Bloodhaven. It's like, why do you think Nightwing left? Is because like you wouldn't trust him and you wouldn't like rely on him as an actual teammate or whatever. And so like the whole theme is like Deathstroke is like this formidable foe, and the whole thing is about like Batman's independence kind of like being destroyed and like relying on the Bat family enough. And at the very final battle, like Batman's getting beat like to a pulp. And then you see like Nightwing come out from the shadows, and you see like a fight between like Batman, the new Robin, and then Nightwing all like going ham on Deathstroke. And that's like, that'll like, I haven't come up with like an end credit scene for that one, but that's just kind of like the plot of the movie.
Red Hood comes out of the shadows and is like, I'm going to kill you all.
Wait, who? Red Hood? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Oh, that would be, no. That would be a sick end credit scene is you see Jason Todd's body like getting like, lowered into the Lazarus pit, and like how the League of Assassins are kind of like talking about it as like Jason Todd like pops up.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
As you were describing that plot in my mind, I just pictured Vin Diesel saying family.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden Paul Walker raises from the dead, and then it's like Charlie Puth's It's Been a Long Day has been playing in the background the entire time, and it's like, what the heck? And then after that I have a Green Lantern movie. I kind of want to like set up the whole cosmic. Oh, and I'm sorry. The directors and the writers for the Batman movie would be Matt Reeves, who directed the newest Batman, and then Christopher Nolan. Them tag teaming a Batman movie is like, it'd just be so good. And then we have the Green Lantern movie. The guy who would direct this is J.J. Abrams. He's had history with like Star Trek and Star Wars. I feel like kind of exactly how you were describing your Green Lantern movie, like a buddy cop film where there's like, there's just like a whole plot of like space cops, and being that as the focus of the movie, I think would be super sick. Who I'd cast as Green Lantern is James Marsden. He was the main guy in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Solid actor.
Yeah. And he looks the part. I feel like he could play that like arrogant like pilot who then has to be like humbled throughout the plot of the movie or whatever. And the main villains I'd have for this are the Manhunters. And the Manhunters are robots that were originally designed by the Guardians of the Universe, who made the Green Lantern rings. So it's basically like the Green Lantern's boss made the Manhunters, which are like these robots that are sent out as a police force. It's a whole thing. So the Manhunters were made before the Green Lanterns to like be the police force. And then the robots became corrupt and started like really like killing people. And so in this movie, the Manhunter program would be shut down and they'd be sent to the Phantom Zone. And then over the course of this movie, you find out that the Manhunters are back. And it's this whole thing of like, nobody knows that the Guardians of the Universe made the Manhunters until later on. But they're like, we made them, but that's impossible that they're back because we permanently like shut them down and banished them to the Phantom Zone. So we don't know how they're back. So it's kind of got a little bit of like a detective / cop feel. And in this one movie, we're setting up all of the other lanterns. In the comics, the Green Lanterns were the only lanterns for a while. And then over the course of time, these other like yellow lanterns, orange lanterns, all of those other colors started coming into play. So in their search for finding out who the Manhunters are or whatever, they're going to all of these different planets with like where the Red Lantern started, getting introduced to like the leaders of these lantern houses, but not setting up the fact that these lanterns exist yet. Like a big part of Atrocitus, who's the leader of the Red Lanterns, a big part of his backstory is that actually in comics, the Manhunters like slaughtered his entire home planet, and that's why it became so rageful. So like keep transferring that over to the film universe and like whatever. I think it'd be super cool. And ultimately, like the Green Lanterns would destroy the big wave of Manhunters and like kind of get rid of them. But they're still by the end of the movie, they still don't know how the Manhunters are back. And what we find out is that at the very end of the movie, at the very, very, very end of the movie, we see we hear a big boom outside of the temple on Oa, and they like fly outside. They're like, what just happened? You see the Phantom Zone open up and Brainiac's ship like comes through, and you see like this swarm of Manhunter robots like come out from his ship and start like swarming Oa, and then the movie ends. And the end credit scene for that would be, so Sinestro is a Green Lantern to start out in the comics. And so in this movie, he kind of is that guy who's training Hal Jordan on how to be a Green Lantern or whatever. But over the course of time, it's kind of like a Mordo situation from like Doctor Strange, where he's seeing like the effects of like the Guardians and the Green Lanterns, and like looking at like how the Manhunters are slaughtering these villages and like blaming the Guardians for all of that. So at the end of the movie, he like flies off to like chase a lead or say that's what he says he's doing, but he's actually meeting a hooded figure in like a dark alley on like a city planet. And it's one of the banished Guardians of the universe who actually like was one of the creators of the Green Lantern Corps, but got corrupted and did his own thing. And he's like always about to be crippled because he knows that Brainiac's coming. And he's like, now's the time to like rise and strike. And he hands Sinestro the yellow lantern ring. And that's the end of the end credits.
That's sick. That's
right?
So
and
cool.
Then the next movie is Justice League. It's the Justice League movie. Obviously the main villain is Brainiac. Who would have to direct that is J.J. Abrams and Zack Snyder. I really love J.J. Abrams' work, but I also think like the way that Zack Snyder does his thing with the DC universe it's so good. And I feel like if they teamed up to direct this movie, it would go really, really well. The beginning shot of this movie it's like a still night sky. And then like from the corner, you see like a green meteorite, like fly down and hit Earth. And Flash sees this and kind of like runs up to go see what's happening. And it's Hal Jordan, but he's like beat up. Like he's beat up. And Flash kind of like flips him over, and Hal Jordan like jolts awake and he's like, where am I? And Flash is like, you're on Earth. And he's like, we need to prep now because like Brainiac is coming. And the whole plot of the movie is like all of the Justice League members kind of like in their own places, but them coming together and like defeating Brainiac. And then in that through the course of the movie, you find out that like Brainiac was the one who like woke Zod up from the Phantom Zone and sent him to Earth. And we find out that Brainiac's purpose is to like conquer Earths or like conquer planets until he finds one that he can't conquer. And he's a robot, but his whole purpose is to find the anti-life equation for Darkseid. So he's the one searching out all these planets to find the anti-life equation. He finds it on Earth, like after the whole like battle sequence or whatever, and like alerts Darkseid that like he's found the anti-life equation and it's at Earth. And that's kind of the end of the movie. And then the end credit sequence would be the nightmare sequence from Batman v Superman, where it's like that dusty and like Batman comes out and starts like fighting parademons or whatever. And then like the end of that end credit scene is Batman like waking up. And that's the end of that movie. I'll kind of just fly through the rest of these
right now.
What's that?
And Superman's still alive.
He is.
He hasn't died yet.
He is. And I'll show you why in just a second. The next movie I do is a Cyborg movie, because who's a part of that Justice League, Justice League team is Cyborg, because through the course of that movie, like we leave off on where he's still in the cocoon. And then throughout the movie, like he wakes up, he hates his life. And then he like joins the, like, just kind of, same same story arc. And then we have a Cyborg movie. I don't really know who the villain is or what the plot of that movie would be just yet, but I think who I'd want to direct it is Jordan Peele. He did like Get Out and he did Nope.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool to see he's a geeky guy. He knows enough about like that universe. I feel like he could do really well. For the next movie, I do Aquaman. And who I'd cast as him is Travis Fimmel. He was the main character in the Vikings show that they came out a while back. And I'd want it to be the exact same plot as Jason Momoa, just like better writing. But I love that plot of like kind of an outsider coming in and like kind of a challenge to the throne, and then like all of the seven seas like fighting each other. I think that's super cool. But I'd want to give it a different spin with it having more of like a Norway kind of feel to it, like kind of like a more Viking approach to Atlantis. And who I'd have to direct that movie is the same guy who directed The Northman. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but it's that new, it's a new like Viking movie. And I heard it was really good. I got to watch it, but I think like him handling another Norway type movie, I think it'd be super sick. And then after that, it would be the Shazam movie. Who I'd cast as like Shazam would be Alan Ritchson, the same guy you cast as Hawk. And the main villain would be Black Adam. I agree. I love like The Rock as that role, so I'd just keep him in there. And the whole plot of that movie would be like a Shazam and Superman team up film to like take down Black Adam. So it would be a Shazam origin story, and then Superman would like come in to like help take down Black Adam, but it's also Superman kind of mentoring him on how to like hone in his powers and like figure that all out. And it would just be a whole lot of fun to like see like Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam. Mm-hmm. And I'd get Phil Lord and Christopher Miller to direct that one. They directed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street. They know how to make a good comedy movie while still making a good like action movie. And I think that's like essential for that. And the last thing I have here is a Green Lantern Corps show, like an HBO Max miniseries, where the main focus is actually Jon Stewart. And he'll be played by Mike Coulter, who was the same guy who played Luke Cage in the Netflix show. This show is actually where we're actually introduced to all of the different lanterns. Like all of a sudden, like all of these new Lantern Corps start popping up, and it's like a mini series that's trying to figure out like, oh, what's going on? Like, how do we stop this or whatever? And there's a comic book storyline where like it's like a full on intergalactic war where all of the Lantern Corps go to war with each other. This isn't that, but it's heavily setting up that huge intergalactic like war movie. And that's my first 10 projects for the DCU.
I'm disappointed in both of you. For one fact, there was no Dr. Fate solo movie. That's one thing I would have done in like the second half of a 10 movie thing. After like Justice League 1 being done, those first like 5 or 6 movies, I would have put a Dr. Fate movie somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be dope.
He's a good character.
He's a really good character.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
All because of Black Adam.
That's in my 20 project.
Oh, okay.
When we do the next one.
Yeah.
He'll be somewhere in there.
He's gonna organize Justice League Unlimited, like the International Space Station.
Perfect. Yeah.
Dope. I love it.
Sweet. Well, do you guys have anything else to add?
I'm upset that Superman's still alive in both of those guys' storylines.
Yeah, what characters are like you gonna lose along the way, or are you making everybody go all the way through?
See, okay, so I was thinking about this. I think it would be interesting to have like Hal Jordan die in the Justice League movie, and that's where Jon Stewart comes into play, because after Hal Jordan dies, his ring goes and finds Jon Stewart, and that sets up the show that I was talking about. So I hate to say that because I really love Hal Jordan as a character. I really love Green Lantern as a character, but I think it'd be an interesting way to kind of like pass the torch to the next guy. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think you kill off Wonder Woman.
Dang.
Wonder Woman. I don't know why. Good character though. Yeah. I think. So I said Jon Stewart I would like have him die at the end of the Green Lantern movie.
Yeah.
I think my next one would be at some point maybe Flash, because I feel like the way Flash is written, at least, he's a very like, he kind of plays the role that like I've seen Thor and Spider-Man play. He's like kind of the funnier action guy that they've been casting him as, and that's kind of what I was leaning towards with my casting. And I think if you do that right, he's going to be a fan favorite, and that sounds like really mean to the fans, but like it's going to be an emotional, like, oh no, like, you know, I think that would be like a kind of like a heart-wrenching death in the Justice League.
I think at least for yours, honestly, probably Cyborg would die off.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, there could be one of those like Hulk gauntlet kind of scenes. I don't know what he would actually do, but then he actually dies.
That'd be interesting.
Like, because that's his best.
Yeah. I would, because see, if we were like you're saying, if we were doing a 20 movie run, then probably a lot of these characters, in my opinion, would have died. Like,
Superman.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I think that's
the thing. They killed him off in, you know, the actual whatever
for like 2 minutes.
Yes, that's stupid. Keep him dead. Oh, who was so excited.
Before we move on from that subject, like, isn't at the end of Batman and Superman like the dirt on the coffin like flies up a little bit? And when I was watching that, in my mind, I'm thinking of like the Man of Steel scenes when he's about to like fly. Like, he kind of pushes the ground down and like things raise up. So like, what was the point of that? If like, I don't know. Unbury him in the next movie. Like, that was the most useless end scene of a movie.
Yeah.
See, I think that either Batman should have just shoved the Kryptonian like staff through his throat, or like just keep him dead. How dare you bring him back?
Yeah.
Stupid. Did I tell you my favorite comic is The Death of Superman? It's like the one with like the flag and it's like all ripped up. Yeah, that's the one. That's my favorite one. Hate that guy.
Who takes that role of like your powerhouse? Because you need one on any super team.
Are you just gonna have Martian Manhunter replace him?
Yes, because I like him.
He's cool, but his weakness is fire.
Yeah, at least he has a weakness. It gives him some actual character. Superman's a pretty boy who can't die, except from Batman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Well, those are two very powerful beings, so I don't know how good of a point you're making if those are the two people that can kill him.
It's stupid, because if those are the only two that can kill him, he just stays away from those two.
Yeah.
He can't die.
See, here's what I'd do. If I had a 20 movie run, I'd do a sequel to Man of Steel. And I'd have Lex Luthor be the main villain with like a mech suit, you know what I mean? And that be the main villain. And then Superman like gets the upper hand on him, and it to the point where like Lex literally can do nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, you see Doomsday because like Lex finally figured out like how to do the genetic modification to him. And at the very end of the movie, just when you think it's over, like Superman gets the upper hand, Superman's like, stay down. And then Doomsday comes out of the corner and like checks him. And then that's how you see like Superman basically die in that movie. That's how you do. I think that'd be legendary if you could do something like that.
They did.
I don't know about that, but he's dead at least.
On that like subject though, that's one of the main reasons I cast Jensen Ackles as Batman. Is I was thinking about keeping Robert Pattinson because I really liked the way he played the character. But I was thinking of I think it's in the animated series of the Justice League where Batman's talking about how he's contingency plans to like eliminate any of the Justice League members if they become evil.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I can see Robert Pattinson's Batman having that much forethought and planning, at least yet, from what we've seen.
Yeah.
And I saw Jensen Ackles as like somebody that would portray that really, really smart intellectual figure of Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. And again, that's why I almost chose Tom Cruise, because I could see him be that untrusting figure that just like is like, I don't trust. I'm not like, I have a contingency plan. Don't worry about it. Like you're going, like if you double cross me, it's over. But
do y'all know the comic Avengers Disassembled?
I've heard of it.
So there's a comic where the Avengers like disassemble. It'd be cool to see like a Justice League disassemble like movie, because like Batman kind of does explain like, yeah, I have ways to kill every single one of you. Like if y'all were to like go evil,
yeah,
kind of, like, pushes them away from each other. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then some kind of, I don't know what other villain, but somebody kind of like hoping for that to happen, or like waiting for something like that to happen to like attack.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like how the Avengers are like separated because of Zemo. And then perfect time to yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, this has been awesome. Do you guys like have anything else, or?
I think we should be in charge.
I'm just saying. Put us in the seat.
I mean, everything's a mess right now. I mean, people are saying Black Adam didn't make any money. There's Batman universes and Joker universes and DC universe, and Michael Keaton's coming back.
Yeah.
I think we need to be in charge.
Yeah. Joker 2 is a freaking musical.
Yeah.
It's not okay. I hate that. Just don't let touch Superman or he won't live.
Yeah. What if Superman just like slowly but surely starts making his way into like every single DC universe or DC movie from now on?
I would slowly and surely find a way to get the writing to where a little piece of kryptonite goes into his body, so it's less powerful. And eventually his head gets crushed.
Okay.
Like a grape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Strong feelings.
Or I just would never watch DC again. That could work too.
Yeah. You'd like make it to where like in every cameo he's like, but wait a second, I gotta drink some water, and there's like a little like kryptonite like pebble. But in like every movie too, it's like, this is weird. This is like really weird.
Y'all are seeing this, right? There's a little
that water is glowing green. Do you not see that, or is that just me? I don't understand.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. All right. Well, this has been fun. It was a good episode.
Yeah, I liked it. Adios.
Farewell.